Hey guys, today I'm going to be taking a look at this little Mavic Air clone. It's the X12 as a model number. It's made by CoolRC, though it also, the name brand is actually here on the box. It's really not CoolRC, it's Dongmingtuo XC, but I think maybe out of simplicity they went with the name CoolRC on the website. It's the X12, blue, red, gray, and a black and blue versions are available, and it's 720p is a particular camera on the one that I got. Now, typically, I do a table review on a drone, and I take it out. I do a test flight on that drone before I actually do a flight review of it. But today it's gonna be a little different. I think you guys will understand why I'm not doing a flight before the actual review. This is going to be the maiden flight for this. The reason why is this drone is notorious for breaking just from the smallest crash, even from a few feet up. So I'm really afraid it's going to bust on me before I actually get a chance to do the review. So I'm going to do the review today, so this will be my maiden flight. So I may be a bit unprepared, but I think you guys will agree, if it does bust, you want to see why and how it busted. So that's why I'm doing it a little bit different today. So I may be a little bit, like I said, unprepared. So let's go ahead and look at the drone some more. Now the arms fold out and then they fold up. So what you want to do is you want to pull these out like this, and then they go up and lock in. And I think these rear ones are the ones that tend to be the ones that bust easily. Then the fronts just fold forward like normal, and there it is, ready to go. Now the camera's 720p, as I said a while ago, and it does tilt, though it's kind of flimsy. I know the reason why I know this drone busts is both my friend Donnie, Big Drone Flyer 77, and David, who is Perth West Oz RC. They both already reviewed this, and both of them had it bust on them. And I know they're not the only ones that had that particular problem. So, like I said, we're just going to go ahead and do a maiden today on this and see how it performs. Now, Donnie did have his, as I was saying, kind of fall down on him, so you can see where that could be a problem. Though David did not have that problem. So, I think if you jar it very much, it's going to definitely fall down, especially if you have the camera aimed upwards. So. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the battery. The battery, it doesn't say what it is, but I think it was 1000 milliamp on the website, 1S LiPo. The battery is also kind of hard to get out of this drone. You really have to dig at it. It's a very tight fit. Let's go ahead and plug the battery in here. Now before we do that, I want to show you how you charge it so I don't have to try to dig the battery back out. It's a little yellow USB cable that plugs in the side here, and I think the light goes out and comes on. Yeah, see, it's on now. It'll go off when you plug it in, and it'll come back on. I believe it comes on whenever it's charged. It could be the opposite though. So let's go ahead and plug the battery in and show you the LEDs on it. You do hold down this little button on the top, and then you get a red light in the back, white in the front. I'm sure those will go solid once I bind it with the controller. So you also have to add these little landing gear if you want to. You don't have to, but I like the little extensions to give it a little more clearance on the ground. There's a Wi-Fi camera. It looks like this whole module could be removed. Little green light on the camera here. So pretty basic, and for what I've seen, it flies really well, and it has a good flight time, I think over 10 minutes. But like I said, it breaks so easy. It's making this drone really tough to recommend. Even if mine doesn't break, it'll be tough to recommend this just because it's breaking on so many other reviewers. I mean, I think David mentioned it was like either 3 or 4 other people he'd seen had this break on besides him and Donnie. So quite a bit of people are having problems with this drone. So let's go ahead and turn off the power. Let's go ahead and go over the controller. Let's mention the spare parts. We've got looks like it comes with a full set of props and prop guards, which I don't use prop guards very much, but if you feel you need them, you can use them. The controller is a little Mavic and Spark style controller. You have these fake antennas you can put up if you want to, but you don't need to. They're not real. Your phone goes here on the bottom, so you just pull that out, and we'll put the phone there for the FPV app. You've got auto takeoff, auto landing, your pitch and roll trims. I believe this top one right here is your 3D flips. The back one I think is going to be your speed rates. It doesn't say very clearly in instructions. We'll find that out when I fly it. I think this one was your photo video, which I think it works with the app, but I usually use the app just to be safe when I record the video feed. And this I think was a short press for headless mode and a long press for 1 key return. Let me check that on the control instructions. Short press for headless mode and a long press for 1 key return if you use those features. So pretty basic on the controller. You know, pretty common. The other ones use this one. Now the app that you're going to use is the let me check it here. It's the HT UFO app. Obviously you'll need to connect to the Wi-Fi, and it asks you to allow it to have audio and media permissions. And I'll put a screenshot here of the app from the Play Store. Some of the drones do use this app, but I'm not going to really go over too much. They're like all the other ones. I don't really use the FPV feed on these toys. I just use it to record the video because unfortunately there is no memory card. There's like a spot where it looks like I'm gonna go, but it's just it's vacant. There's nothing in there, so be careful not to drop a memory card in there and then lose it inside the camera module. So hopefully I covered everything on that. I don't know how you calibrate the gyros. I don't think it mentioned it. Usually it's gonna be like down and left or down and right, but it doesn't. Of course I'm holding it upside down, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. We really want to see how this thing flies, and is it going to survive even one flight with this thing, because that's a big issue, is this thing breaking. So I think we got everything covered on the basics on this drone, and so let's go ahead and we'll move along now for that maiden flight review. Okay guys, so I have the CoolRC X12 little Mavic Air toy clone here, bound up with the controller and the FPV app. Just like all the other FPV apps, you can fly it with on-screen display here to control it with the app. But of course I'm going to use the controller. And like I said a while ago, this is not my typical review. I don't like to do maiden flights because I feel very unprepared. I like to do a test flight first, but because this drone is so notorious for breaking, I want to at least catch it on film if it does break. So this is going to be a maiden flight review. So if I seem a little unprepared or I say something that's not right, I apologize, just because I'm doing things a little different. This is the only time ever on my channel I've done a maiden flight review of a drone. I've done some maidens on boats, but not drones. So I think you guys will understand the reasoning behind that. Even if it does not break, I want you to at least see it if it does happen. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start recording the video. And we're recording video now. Let's go ahead and take it up. You just press the auto takeoff, and there it goes. Let's go ahead and trim it. It looks like it is wanting to go to the right, so I'm going to left trim it a little bit. Get some more trim. There we go. That's much better. Let's see the yaw. Pretty slow. I mean, what you expect for a beginner rate. It's going to obviously drift some. I'm going to try to look at the FPV feed some here too, because I don't know if it's better or worse than some of the others. It looks like it's pretty good. There's some lag, as you expect, but the video stayed pretty strong from what I've seen, so hopefully the video I'm getting here recorded to the phone is decent. Let's go ahead and try. I think this one here is yeah, there's second rate, yaw's better, and there's third rate. I'm going to keep it to third. I like to be in a sportier rate. So you got 3 rates, and the yaw does increase. Much sportier. Like I said, this should get over 10 minutes flight time. But Donnie and David didn't even get a flight time because it busted on them before they were able to finish doing their review. So that's why I think they both did maidens on theirs also. I do like the red light, and the 2 white lights in the front are actually really easy to see for orientation. So, if this drone doesn't break, it seems to be pretty decent if it's flying for me. It's losing a little bit of altitude on me, but not enough to really affect the flying too much. Also, the 3D flips button, I don't think I mentioned it a while ago, it's also a motor kill, which I don't particularly like that. If you do a long hold on it, it will fall. I don't know if that's what happened to David. I remember watching his review, but it may have been what happened. I can't quite remember. I just know it fell very short fall and it busted. I'm going to try to trim it up. It is drifting a little. I mean, there's no breeze at all today. Let's go ahead and try a 360 flip. Let's bring it a little closer here so it doesn't get blended in with those trees. Let's bring it over this way. I'm gonna trim it up a little more. Needed a little more. Needed quite a bit of trim at first. I think Donnie had to trim this up quite a bit. You may need to trim it quite a bit at first if you do happen to purchase this drone, though. As easy as it's breaking for people, I would say you probably would want to look elsewhere unless you just got to have a Mavic Air clone. Like I say, you know, it flies pretty nice. I don't really have a problem with the way it's flying. Let's go ahead and do a flip. Ooh, a nice flip. I remember Donnie did really good flips when he was flying it. I don't think it will flip forward and back. I think it was just right and left. I'm pretty sure I remember that. Let's try it here. Yeah, it does not flip. It will only do rolls. And it does raise up, which is nice, so it gets a good amount of clearance. So you just got right and left. You can't do forward and back. Some drones, usually the longer drones, they eliminate the forward and back flips, but not sure why they did it on this one. Let's go ahead and do an auto landing and see how it does with the auto landing here. Well, it shouldn't break from that. That was a little bit of a drop, but the arms seem fine. So let's go ahead and we'll take off again, and let's see, can you unlock them manually? I'm not seeing it. At least we're doing the, usually doing your sticks in or out will do it, but it just looks like you have to use the auto takeoff feature. It wasn't unlocking for me. See, those are little things that I typically would have an answer for that ahead of time after doing a flight test or two, but it's not something I really felt comfortable doing with the way that this thing breaks. It is losing altitude on me quite a bit. I mentioned it's doing a little bit. I'm doing it right there and I almost hit the mailbox. I don't particularly like that. I've seen worse, but see, that's kind of dropping down on me. Let's take it up a little higher here. And it's drifting a little bit still. I just haven't gotten it really fine-tuned on the trim though. I'm not really worried about the drift. Ooh. And it fell out of the sky. I did absolutely nothing there, guys. That's why I filmed this now. I'm certain that had to have broke it. That was a pretty fall. That was probably at least 15 feet up. Let's see what happened. Well, you know, I heard something smack the ground here. I thought something busted off of it, but believe it or not, even those extensions didn't even fall off. That was weird. I did not hold down the motor kill button. It just fell out of the sky. You can see why there's issues with this drone. I imagine this has happened to some other people where it's busted, because I didn't do anything. I was just flying it and it just fell. You know, I've had some toy drones do this before, but not very often. Let's see if it still is, you know, is it lost power? I don't see a light. I think it lost power. Let me see. Yeah, it's lost power. Let's go ahead and see if I can turn it back on. Yeah, light came on. Let's see if it will. And of course I've lost the FPV feed. Alright guys, so I got this all bound up. I'm going to take off and test it, and of course I did not notice. I thought I saw something flop. A propeller broke. Now I don't think that's what caused it to crash, because it just completely lost power and fell to the ground. If you throw a prop, it's going to start spinning wildly out of control, and that's not what happened. Now, it still functions, and since there are spare props, I can replace this and fix it, but I'm not going to mess with doing that now and finish this review, because I think you guys saw enough there. Hopefully the footage didn't get ruined because it lost power. So if there's no footage with this review, it's because it lost power and I lost everything. So as you can see, even though my arms didn't bust, the propeller busted because it fell out of the sky. So the biggest problem with this drone is really it's breaking. You can see it here in the rear. I also didn't notice, see, like I've got a crack and it's busted the shell, and it's knocked the LED the little lens out. The light's still shining in there, but this thing's a piece of junk. Everybody's having problems with it. You know, it flies okay, but falling out of the sky on me is just unacceptable. I mean, like, what was I, maybe 6-7 minutes in? I don't know, I'm just guessing, but it's just really sad. So remarkably, my arms didn't break like Donnie and David's, but I've got a broken propeller, a rear busted lens, but I can fix that stuff. But this is just not enjoyable enough to fly, because you feel like the whole time you're flying it, you're worried you're going to break it, and that's no fun for a toy drone for anybody. So I can't recommend this drone. There is be a purchase link just because you know that's part of the agreement for reviewing these things, but I would not recommend buying this particular drone. There's much better ones out there in this price range that are much more reliable. So hopefully this kind of all-in-one spur of the moment review is enough to show you guys why this drone's no good. And as always, guys, you know, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you click the bell to let you know whenever I post a new video. And as always, guys, have a good day.
The power of the dark side.